It has been difficult lately. The more I read about mass murder, abductions, capital murder, greed, and hatred in the news, the less optimistic I get about the future of this country and the world. Without a doubt, we are not thriving. In Thailand, an ex-cop invaded a preschool and stabbed and slashed to death over 20 young children. He murdered other school staff members as well as an employee who was 8 months pregnant. He went home and killed his wife and 2-year-old stepson before killing himself. An enraged ex-employee of a family-run trucking company in California kidnapped the owner, his wife, and their 8-month-old daughter at gunpoint, killed them all, and then dumped their remains in an almond orchard. Before being taken into custody, he made an attempt at suicide but was unsuccessful. How do these men, yes, it's almost always males, not women, justify killing random people or former employers? Between the two occurrences recently involving children, how could they ever consider killing nearly 20 young children? This is precisely why human beings are the worst species on Earth. How can a person degrade himself to the point of killing numerous children? The world is a sick place. So many people's lives have been consumed by greed. The rising cost of living, which includes the price of housing, transportation, food, and several consumer goods, has left many individuals in a desperate financial situation. The pressure and stress endured by single people as well as those with families lead to these types of random bursts of violence. Again, almost all mass killings are committed by men. Men seem to lack the coping skills necessary to prevent these things from happening frequently in our world. Men do not appear to be able to handle the stress of life and disappointment nearly as well as women do. We've programmed men since the dawn of time to be strong, tough, and protective, and have shamed them for feeling negative emotions. More of them have become psychotic and killed innocent people far more often than women ever have. It's truly infuriating and sad to read about so many mass killings these days. Something is broken within humanity, most notably within men. Greed and hatred seemingly pervade men's thoughts and actions far more than ever. I don't feel confident that we're going to be able to keep relative peace here on Earth for very much longer. In some countries, it's still perfectly legal to abuse your wife. Women are beaten and even killed for their perceived disrespect they show towards their husband. Even if the woman is guilty of nothing, just the suspicion that she might have done something her husband didn't approve of is often enough for a man to take her life. This is sickening and unacceptable. But before you judge other countries and assume that these kind of atrocities only happen in foreign lands, why don't you take a look at our own country, the United States of America? Believe me, we have our share of problems. They all start with the mass shootings. We have far more mass shootings than any other country, likely more than the rest of the world combined. Definitely, when our guns outnumber our citizens, it can be problematic. But gun enthusiasts will tell you that it's not the gun, it's the man holding it. But that's not always reassuring. These horrifying mass murders will continue to be a possibility as long as individuals, particularly men, who do not recognize the value of therapy and do not go to counseling when they are experiencing trouble controlling their frustration, rage, and other emotions. The amusing thing about bigots and racists is that they are cowards, spineless cowards. They are people who don't have love, kindness, or empathy in their hearts, and therefore have dreadful, ignorant beliefs inside of themselves. Inside, they are terrified little boys or girls who are afraid of anything new or unusual from themselves. So when someone steps to them and calls them out on the shitty things they say, they tend to back down. Although I could quit watching the news and choose to ignore the terrible and evil things that are happening in our country and on the planet, that's not my style. I don't think I'll ever be able to ignore the injustice in the world. I want better for my kids, their future families, and for all of humanity. I still don't have an answer about how to stop the evil caused by human beings. I suspect there is no answer, and that's awfully depressing.